Daryl awoke under some large blankets in a very comfortable bed in a dark, cool room. He was extremely refreshed and at ease. Daryl got out of bed to see he was wearing underpants and his shirt. He walked into the hallway, and something in his head directed him to turn right and then right again into another room. There came a voice in his head. Daryl looked at what appeared to be a toilet. He quickly walked up to it and peed inside the bowl. This visit to the bathroom lasted an unusually long amount of time. Daryl left the bathroom and went to the couch where Vikan and the others were sitting in the living room. "Hello," said Rizal telepathically in Daryl's mind. "Hi," responded Daryl, touching the devices on his neck and head again. Suddenly, Daryl felt a pang of sadness run through him. "Rizal!" exclaimed Daryl excitedly. Daryl felt joyous again. "Sorry, I'm a little hazy, and you all look the same to me," thought Daryl. All of the alien greys laughed at this notion, and Daryl was swirling with happiness. "How long was I out?" asked Daryl. 40 days, responded Rizal. Daryl looked astoundedly at the others in the room. "How is that possible?" asked Daryl. "We can sustain your body with supplements for you to take even if you're unconscious," answered Rizal. "Your mind was on such a heavy dose of psychedelics that you passed out and could not operate while under the influence." "I do feel really good right now," thought Daryl as the alien greys laughed. "But shouldn't I be outdoors more than I am?" "It's better you stay out of sight," responded Rizal. "You are still a stowaway." Images of puppies and kittens filled his mind, and they all felt special to Daryl as he saw them in his mind. Then he saw a single puppy caged and alone, looking terrifyingly sad. "There are many more like you on your planet, but here you are only one lesser creature that could be abducted by one of our own or reported to our masters, and then you will surely be taken away," explained Rizal. Daryl felt sad and slumped in the chair. "It's better that you stay in the condo," reiterated Rizal. "We have more substances than any food you can dream of." Any food, thought Daryl, now realizing how hungry he suddenly was. He thought of a juicy surf and turf with crispy fries and a soda beverage. A ding came from the kitchen. Rizal was using the glove mechanism to open the door in the kitchen and float a plate of steak, lobster tail, and fries over to the table in front of him. Daryl's beverage followed shortly after. Daryl quickly took a huge bite out of the steak before he looked back at Rizal with his mouth full. Daryl smiled with his mouth full, gazing at Rizal. The thought of being this alien's pet crossed Daryl's mind due to him currently eating Rizal's nourishment and living in his home. Rizal smiled warmly at Daryl and said, "The pet analogy is just a relationship that you will find familiar, and it is fitting to this scenario. Our species may have not much of a physical stature, but we are substantially advanced compared to your species." Daryl then thought to himself, "Your species is enslaved." A clear image of an old-fashioned judge with white curly hair and a long black robe pointing a gavel down at Daryl filled his mind. The bench the judge was on then elevated high up into the sky, leaving an image of a bright, cloudy sky bathed in sunshine. Daryl then regretted what he had thought about Rizal. Daryl continued to eat his steak and lobster, while Rizal telepathically communicated with him. "What do your people think of my species on my planet?" Daryl's mind was then transported to a classroom of alien greys. There were several smaller alien greys, and one larger one that appeared to be instructing the others. "We have caught up to our current curriculum. Do you have any questions, class?" asked the teacher. One of the children asked, "Who are the beings from the Earth planet?" "The planet of dirt," replied the teacher exhaustedly. "They haven't evolved past a dependency on soil. All of their nutrition and sustenance is developed through soil. None of their food or technology is extra material." All of the children gasped. "The inhabitants of this planet are rodents that evolved to walk upright as bipeds," continued the teacher. One of the children interrupted and asked, "Why would they evolve to simple upright vermin?" The teacher continued, "When the dominant species of reptile that ruled the planet were destroyed by an asteroid, the vermin buried underground and found nourishment in smaller creatures to stay alive, while the planet-wide event ended all life on the surface of Earth." The children gasped in horror at the thought. We have sent spiritual leaders to guide the planet since the humans took notice of interplanetary travel. The resilience and stubbornness that helped them survive planetary extinction has also completely hindered them from adopting interplanetary spiritual enlightenment. The alien representatives we sent were able to instruct the Shrew people to build pyramids on the planet's surface to transmit energy to the cosmic grid. The knowledge we provided them with led them to develop their bodies greatly. They noticed each other's appearances and decided to focus on their own personal development instead of aligning with the cosmic conscience. Humans chose not to respect the teachings we offer or our spiritual standing in the universe. After building monuments to us, they turned away from our teachings in search of something else. The largest humans mocked and imitated us to amass gatherings of their own. To the other humans, the human leaders appeared to offer the same knowledge as we did. The humans grouped together like sheep, following other humans without any celestial guidance. One of the children asked, "If they are so primitive, why do we give up on guiding them into a higher consciousness?" The teacher responded by saying, "The humans have chosen their own evolutionary path. They live like sophisticated primates that build high up or dig deep down into the earth. We have offered our guidance and made planetary progress towards advancing their civilization. Since we first visited the shrew beings of the dirt planet, we have come in contact with various other species. The Galactic Union does not recognize Earth as an official member. However, many of the species that have been chosen to cooperate with us are." "The Kiltal," continued the teacher. All of the children shuddered in terror of the name. "Took notice of the human devotion to their appearance and resilience towards accepting alien assistance. Due to the humans' lack of knowledge and knowledge of the universe, they roam the surface like scurrying ants. Luring one or more away from the rest is simple, and the species is not aware that someone from their planet has been missing. Their bodies evolved to sustain many beings throughout the universe, and the market for their organs has become highly profitable. Many species throughout the galaxy consider them to be an inferior species due to their lack of ambition in joining the rest of the galaxy." Daryl came back to himself sitting in the living room with a tear running down his face. "So that's what the rest of the universe thinks of my species," said Daryl. "Every time a human has been abducted, it has been messy," replied Rizal telepathically. "You are significant from all the other humans because of what you have recently experienced. Don't feel responsible for your people." Daryl thought about all of his ancestors and them consciously ignoring extraterrestrial assistance in advancing scientific endeavors throughout space. Daryl couldn't let himself become the same kind of human. "Did you know any of those alien greys?" asked Daryl. "Yes," replied Rizal. "That was my class in school with Damlalala." Dimlalala smiled and gestured a wave. "You are sharing your memories with me?" asked Daryl. "I'm passing information to you in a way that I think you will feel comfortable, believing and understanding. I don't know if you can accept what I am telling you as truth, but I have no intention to lie to you." Daryl thought about how Rizal was much more technologically advanced than him and clearly much smarter and said, "I think you are doing what you find is best for me." Daryl felt warm and happy, like a baby had just showed him approval. "I was educated in my younger years, and we have exhibits in our museum to illustrate the examples of history throughout space. You are aware that touring the planet is a bad idea. Frankly, I have analyzed your routines and habits, and this is an ideal routine for you." Daryl thought about sitting around and eating food at his home. Then he thought about using his computer and playing video games. All of the movies and television shows he had been watching were getting bland. Was the food he was eating even real? How did he know what it was made of? "How do I know you didn't put me into a vat and are keeping me alive in stasis?" asked Daryl. "How would you know that you weren't experiencing that before we met?" responded Rizal. "Point taken," replied Daryl. "Please don't trouble yourself with worries and questions about your situation," communicated Rizal. "I'm sorry for the shock that you have been in recently. You must remember the space aliens that visited your planet and the unfortunate perils that face your species." Everything Rizal had said to him was tracking so far, thought Daryl. He then said, "The Kittal abduct humans with your help?" Rizal nodded blankly. And what do they do with the humans? The Keltal aren't concerned with what happens to them. They are ordered to collect humans of a certain size and shape. They have struck deals with your world's richest members that rule over the rest of your planet in exchange for advanced technology. Some of the Keltal joined ranks with the most powerful humans to gain more information than they could in a single lifetime. The Keltal are able to operate without human assistance, so I don't know why they would work with humans. They have been known to manipulate humans and lure them into danger for over a millennia, said Rizal. Wait, interrupted Daryl. No one is ruling the Earth. It's a coordinated effort that people work together to make a better planet. Rizal looked at Daryl and telepathically communicated to him. Your media has been created to give you anxiety. Your food is poison that shortens your lifespan. And your political leaders lie to the public for their own personal gain. Most of your life is spent distracted so you don't bother the people that gather more money than anyone else by owning the largest companies and gathering the most resources. Some of them become obsessed with alien life and did everything they could to contact one. The Kiltal chose to contact some of the most evil people in order to make a pact. Daryl couldn't believe what he was hearing. The humans cannot disclose their presence to your people, and if they are exposed, they will manipulate humans into dismissing any alien discussion and returning to the things you people do every day, continued Rizal. Once one of you panic, other members of your species worry as well, creating a chain reaction. That alarms a mob of people. Only your bravest are willing to embark on a journey into the unknown. Oh my God, said Daryl. It was so obvious to him now, as he said, "We are all sheep." Rizal sat in silence as Daryl continued. Humans as a society has not advanced for years. I don't understand why things change the way they do, and no one ever explains it to me. Daryl felt sad as he said this. Come with me, spoke Rizal's thoughts to Daryl. I want you to see this. Rizal led Daryl over to the glass pillar and waved his hand across the pillar opening, raising the glass tubes one at a time in a curtain-like fashion. There was a circular platform inside that was surrounded by the glass curtain. Rizal motioned for Daryl to enter, and he did. Daryl stood on the platform as the curtain closed around him, leaving him in a calm blue light on a sand-like floor. What is this? Thought Daryl. It's a stasis entertainment simulator, came Rizal's response in Daryl's mind. Turn your glove to game. Daryl adjusted the dial on his glove to the game setting. Daryl then began to fly around in the sky like he was Iron Man, shooting helicopters and military personnel that shot at him. Daryl swerved and rolled in the sky to dodge the gunfire before shooting beams of explosive power into the Humvees and tanks. This is awesome, thought Daryl. Yes, responded Rizal. Zwu and Dimlalala uploaded the entire catalog of Earth's games and film collection while you were sleeping. The simulator created several games from movie experiences that never developed into games. Thank you, responded Daryl. This is amazing. Daryl played games for hours while the alien greys conversed in the living room. When Daryl finally came out, he sat on the couch and looked at Rizal. Rizal showed him how to make his own food and get his own water for when Daryl is alone. Daryl thought of some tasty cheeseburgers and golden fries that manifested in the oven before Daryl floated the food and a beverage over to him. Daryl sat in the living room enjoying his meal while being lectured by Rizal.